from Antilo Jr. And he is beside himself right now. Oof. That's given away. Nunez spots Lupango. Opportunity to pull the trigger here. Lupango goes for it and forces a stop.
Is Halike the most? Because at the moment, they're looking for any sort of penetration into the final third, and Halike definitely would have given that.
Long range effort. Ooh. Fantastic shot. He's gonna go for it. Forcing another top save from Zambrano. Sulit plays it through Fayol. Switches it to the opposite side. It's well worked. Jola trying to go direct to Fayol. Difficult one to control. Oof. Through the lines. It's a great opportunity for It's tucked away.
And it's on to our main match of the day right here. This January 17, 2026 at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It's your 2025-2026 Philippines Football League action. Aguilas and Manila Digger, and these are, you could say, favorites to make it to the top 6 again. We'll elaborate further why, of course, respect business afterwards. That's my speculation, but here's the team lineup of Coach Bing.
As always, for that first 11, just a couple of tweaks here and there, back position.
Of Aguilas, they use Cartalarag for their tongue twister social media game. As the header is just wide here. Are set to play a home game right here against Tewa United. I'm excited to find out if it is going to be here or maybe New Clark City. Shot taken here. Flag is raised though for Sekou Cisse. He wants that one back even if it was offside because he only rattled the crossbar. Palpalatok to Tomoki. Tarsanilia could not stop that from getting to Amita. But that is eventually stopped by Jordan Jarvis. Interesting setup right here. You have a line of Manila Digger players. Nishoka sends it in, out swinger. They got ahead to it, but it was cleared. Took these certain movements from basketball inbound plays. Up for grabs, and amidst the chaos, Shirooka lost it.
Could be Pickering. Ball given from Nishioka. First connects with the Manila Digger player. We're able to keep it in the air and in a dangerous area. Shirooka got his hands to it, but he was sandwiched in between a Manila Digger player. First half, as we mentioned, it is the first game back after a long time of no matches for both these teams.
Right, change in personnel as Sekou Cisse kicked off the second half now. Ready, papad na papad sila.
You must say that 2025 has been a good year for Manila Digger. Can they carry it over?
Too close for comfort.
Onko not only to dispossess Talarok, but also to continue on the possession, and they're on the attack.
And they get to blow by. But Sekou Cisse is unable to connect as time carries on over the course of the game. Flag is raised here though, unfortunately. Well, there's a superb stop from Boubacar Diallo. Driving the traffic. Some clear pulling there from Munsworth. Shot taken. Offside is the call as that went wide of the back post. Played here now. Ibrahim Adamu. When he blasted, Omar Engi's on the way now. Thought about charging out, but Noy Filonco got it to Troy Limbo.
The ball now on the attack again.
Flicked it back. Mane shoots. Came off. Sekou, the rebound. Couldn't capitalize. How often does he get beaten in situations like that? Off to Sekou Cisse. Flag stays down. Takes a touch. Shoots. It would have been a highlight if he got to convert. And the full-time whistle just like that. The frustration, particularly with Manila Digger. And Kenji Nishoka with a shake of his head.
say that Manila Digger would be the more frustrated team among the two squads.
And it's on to our main match of the day right here.
Heavyweight showdown now between these two teams. It's going to be Manila Digger FC against UMAK FC in match number 63 of the 2025 to 2026 Philippine Football League season. Wednesday after is despite the fact that it's midweek, this is a clash that you should watch no matter the day because it's between two of the most happy teams in the Philippines. Lovely cool weather after a really hot afternoon here in Manila. The conditions are favorable and this match looks to be a really exciting one. It's going to be Diego Cordero alongside Natasha Alquiros Dato for this one. Natasha, how excited are you for this game?
You already feel that it's going to be a heated and hostile matchup between Manila Digger and Aguilas UMAK. You take a look at where they are both in the standings. Manila currently at number 4. They've played the least amount of games so far, and so they're catching teams up on top. They could leapfrog all the way up to number 1 or that number 2 spot. And for the side of Aguilas UMAK FC, 29 points to Manila Diggers 30. A win today could seal them at number 4. That's just never just another fixture. It's encircled in your calendar with that red. It's a must watch.
The winner of today's match gets a firm grip on that 4th place spot. However, you mentioned it earlier, Manila. They won't mind that though. That's a problem they want to have. Aguilas, on the other hand, a bit safe now from that top 6. She's commentated over Natasha. It was a 0-0 draw, but both of these teams will walk away from this. Would have walked away from this match and would have said to themselves, chase title.
For Manila Digger, as you mentioned, 0-0. They had a lot of. You have to say that Aguilas did very well to keep and the player of the match was Bobacar Diallo. Bobacar Diallo played fantastic.
Because it was the first match of their calendar year. However, this evening it's a very different situation because both of these teams are coming into this match with fine form, especially Manila Digger FC, who have been unbeaten this whole season. Their last loss came last August, and that wasn't even in a campaign this season. That was a one-off game against Persib for that AFC or ACL2, which they didn't get. But again, since that loss, it's been undefeated in the PFL, undefeated in the finals. What do you make of this Manila, who will feel that this is the season that they should finally get their hands on that PFL title?
So you all know last season they were shy of 1 point to Kaya FC, to lifting that trophy, and at the moment they're having a historic season, a very young team in the PFL, only their 3rd season, but are quickly etching their name as title contenders in the PFL and are proving to be history with established Asian powers. They're making their mark. They're the first Philippine professional club to reach the semi-finals of the AFC Challenge League. So they're coming into this match with a lot of confidence.
So they are 4th, but again, as you saw on the table earlier, they have 3 games in hand, and they will also have to probably play a congested schedule because in April 9 and April 16, they will have a home and away leg against Vaireng in the semifinals of the AFC Challenge League. But speaking on their PFL form, it's actually been a while because of their 2-week break, because of the fact that they had to play against Dewa United here and abroad in Indonesia, and they looked excellent against Dewa United. A 1-0 victory here at home and then a 3-2 victory away at Indonesia. That is not an easy thing to do for any foreign team in Indonesia. As you know, the atmosphere in that country is incredible, but they were able to silence the home crowd. What a season they are having.
And when it comes to their local form as well in the Filipino Football League, since 2026 started, they drew Aguilas for their first game, but since then have won their last 3 matches, including beating the defending champions Kaya FC in their most recent matchup in the PFL. And you take a look at the first 11 of Manila Digger. NG will be the goalkeeper in between the sticks, the backline of Felonco, Juf, Jarvis, and Taninko. The midfield role of Mane, Baji, and Bas, one of their good signings really towards the end of the window. Nishioka, who has been in fantastic form on the left flank, alongside Ture on the right, and Pao Zumangay up on top. The attacking threat of these 3 players have been on another level this season.
And speaking of attack, we're going to highlight here Babukar Ture rather, sorry for that, as our player to watch. 11 goals this season. And what's incredible about that is the fact that there are so many players in this team that have racked up so many goals this season. So they don't have a single source of goals. They have multiple different players that can add and chip in with goals and assists. And Ture is definitely one of those players that could have a good performance this evening.
That's right. Ture has 11 goals to his name, tied with top scorer for Manila Digger alongside Cisse. But to add to that, he also has 6 assists to his name. So 17 goal involvement for Ture, and in fine form coming into this matchup against Aguilas.
Let's take it now to the coaching staff interview of Manila Digger FC.
Expect a good game from us. We in high morale from my AFC campaign, and now the boys also in high morale, so they will not go down for a game today. So we will come out strong in this game today.
Coach Kim Versal is very confident ahead of this one.
That's right, Diego. I was gonna say, you love to see that oozing confidence coming on from that head coach, saying how confident their team is, and they are in high morale, and they will definitely show on the pitch today.
Moving on now to Aguilas. UMAK FC could leapfrog Manila Digger tonight, even though they have played more matches. They're coming right off a very recent 2-1 victory against Philippine Army, but they were pushed really hard in that match. However, they are also 4 wins on the bounce after a 2-0 loss against Stallion earlier on this calendar year. So they're also coming into this match on good form. What do you make of them going into this one, Natasha?
We feel that Aguilas, UMAK, coming into 2026, as you mentioned, a lot of movement during the transfer window, and you feel now is the time to really test out their new signings. They've already had the time to really gel in together. Again, it showed from their last 4 fixtures, getting 4 important wins. And so in terms of their momentum coming into this game, they're also in good form, good momentum, able to score those goals. And the first 11 for Aguilas UMAK, Shiraoka, the goalkeeper, the backline of Caloocaran, Diallo, Villarreal, and Richard Talarok, the midfielder in Justin Peña, the holding mid, Bukit on the left, Cart Talarok on the right, Tete and Jibrila, and up on top you have Isa Diallo.
Slightly rotated lineup compared to their last game because that win over Philippine Army came last Saturday, so it was a very short turnaround for Aguilas UMAK FC. However, they were able to rest a lot of their key players in that Army game, so they're fit and fully rested for this one. One player we want to highlight for Aguilas UMAK FC is their midfielder Richard Tete, who, if Aguilas are going to get a draw or even a win in this match, they need to win that midfield battle, and Richard Tete will be a big part of that.
That's right. He's been a key midfield signing. He's played in the Ghanaian Premier League, provides stability in that midfield role, and has made those scoring opportunities for the side of Aguilas. And this will definitely be another test for him and that midfield role for Aguilas.
Speaking of Aguilas, let's now take it to the coaches of Aguilas UMAK FC for a few words.
For today's match, we keep this pace, same as last game, but we need to work hard. I think it's down the wire, still up same as first round, but hopefully we can try to win this game. Then preparation, we're doing well, we prepare well for this team, and then all players are rested also before this game, so expect 100% for the players.
Coach Bing is also, like Coach Kim Rosales, up for this one. Nice to see that we have two coaches also from the homegrown stage who are listed as their respective head coaches this evening. It's always nice to see that they've made their way to the professional scene, and nice to see also for Coach Bing that he's been given the trust to lead the PFL team.
That's right. He used to be the assistant coach for Kaya FC midway through this season before getting the call to be the head coach for the side of Aguilas UMAK. And so far, under his tutelage and guidance, they've had 1 draw, 1 loss, and 4 wins. Not a bad record for the first few fixtures under Coach Colina.
Moments away now, let's take it to the pitch for our pre-match ceremonies.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let us welcome the teams of Manila Digger Football Club and Aguilas UMAK Football Club.
Tonight, main referee is Chrismark Nanyola. He will be assisted by Paul Galicia and Ryan Flores. The fourth official is Raymart De Los Santos. Our referee assessor is Ray Ritaga, and the match commissioner is Ira Ilan. The two captains in your screen right now. Two homegrown players we have. Felonco there for Manila Digger and Talarok for Aguilas. Really big match here tonight. Moments away from kickoff, and very exciting prospect between these two teams.
Manila Digger, fine form, have not lost a game in the PFL or in the AFC Challenge League. The draw that they experienced, one of the draws that they've had in the PFL were against Aguilas UMAK. They have that going for them, going against solid Manila Digger with their attacking players of Nishioka, Guy, and Toure. All together scoring over 29 goals for the side of Manila Digger.
Such an impressive season so far for Manila Digger. Again, their last loss came on August 13 of last year, and it's midway through March. That's how consistent they've been. Here's a look at the Aguilas lineup that are recently coming off that 2-1 win over Army. Both benches here, a lot of game changers for both sides, should the coaches of each team decide that changes are needed. Moments away now. Before kickoff, it'll be Aguilas UMAK FC in their red and blue jerseys, kicking from left to right. Manila Digger going the other way in their trademark yellow shirts and black shorts. Expect the first 5 minutes of this game to be pure chaos, pure adrenaline-filled tackles flying all around, because it is a huge one here tonight. By the way, the drums that you may hear coming from the stadium are coming from the Aguilas contingent sitting right behind their bench. So lovely to see some atmosphere here as well in a Wednesday evening PFL game.
For the side of Aguilas, they'll be looking at their top striker in form with Issa Diallo. 8 goals to his name. He scored 6 goals in the last 4 matches. Aguilas will definitely need him to have his A game if they want to secure points against Manila Digger.
Early chance for a long throw from Richard Talarok. Has targets in the box, but Manila Digger are also a very tall team. So he goes short, combines with Peña. Crossed in by Richard Talarok, cleared away by Manila Digger. Early pressure being put on by Aguilas. They've made a decent start in the opening minute or two. They give the ball away there.
And the Talarok brothers, it's good to see them both starting for the side of Aguilas. As you mentioned, in the start of the season, they were the only holdovers from last season. Richard Talarok with the captain's armband and Cart Talarok on the right. He's been in great form as well for the side of Aguilas.
Here is Cart Talarok trying to find his teammate in Issa Diallo, but that was far too powerful for him to run on the end of. Coach Bing will be happy with the territory that his Aguilas side have dominated in the opening minute and a half. Manila Digger are going to play out. Very confident in their ability to play through and over teams with their physicality. But even though they're such a physical team, also a very technically gifted team.
Manila Digger did beat the likes of Kaya FC and Want the Gig. Have suffered draws against the like of Aguilas and Stallion Laguna.
Aguilas not afraid also to sit deep when it's needed. Villarreal with the early tackle there on Usman Guy, who's been given the striker's position in the last few games in the Challenge League and in the PFL, and he has repaid that faith at the same time. If you combine both PFL and Challenge League goals, he's also on 12 goals, which is a really good return this season. Jarvis is going to go long, looking for Usman Guy. Villarreal with the good header.
That's right, as I mentioned earlier, three attacking players of Nishioka, Toure, Bausman guy. 11 goals for Toure and 6 assists so far in this PFL. Nishioka, 7 goals to his name. And a guy with 7 goals as well.
Two players you mentioned there, Nishioka and Guy, also got goals against Dewa United. Nishioka's goal really well taken here at the home leg. Defensive header there by Caloocaran, who you'd assume needs to have a really good game tonight if Aguilas are going to get anything.
You feel with the likes of Caloocaran and Villarreal, who have been bouncing off playing with Stallion Laguna and with Aguilas. So though the first leg was with Stallion, they somehow are fitting in very well and easily slotting in back to their positions with Aguilas.
Caloocaran with the header backwards. Guy nearly profiting off that pass. Here's Bukit, who scored against Philippine Army last Saturday. Bukit as well, 22-year-old Indonesian, played really well against Army, was very threatening. He's been given another start this evening.
There's one thing about the Aguilas side is that you can never count them out until the last minute.
Heavy challenge there. Very early on, and it's a yellow card right away. You could actually hear it. And we're on the other side of the stadium, Natasha. So I'd love to see a replay on this, but you know, there's not even much protest going on, so it did look like a heavy challenge.
I feel that Aguilas are a team that need to be very careful when it comes to collecting cards. Last game they played against Aguilas, they did get a red as well for a couple of those reckless challenges.
Last Saturday also, they got a red card. Bongolan with a denial of a goal scoring opportunity. So it's an area of improvement for Aguilas. They've actually exceeded 40 yellow cards this season, which is by far the highest across the whole league. Having to do a little bit of defending here now though. Nishioka will deliver this in. In-swinger from the winger. And there was a foul from Usman Guy before the ball was even in the penalty box. So Aguilas escaped that set piece. It's Villarreal. The two Talarok brothers playing on the same side as well. Felonco there, winning out. Losing out eventually though. Can Aguilas build a counter-attack? Have numbers on this attack. Chance through on goal right away, very early on. Opportunity wasted. And a warning sign to Manila Digger that Aguilas are also a force to be reckoned with.
Great ball to the run of Jibrila. Juf letting go the reins. He knew that if he put his hands on him, that would definitely be a foul and a card. Jibrila just couldn't take advantage of that opportunity. Overhit.
He's 6 minutes in. First big chance of the game falls to Aguilas. They need to take those chances if there are any more. That was a huge chance for Jibrila, but he combined really well with Isa Diallo. Good hold-up play from the striker. Here he is again. The referee's not going to allow the play to be taken quickly. Justin Bass is going to be up against Peña for this match. Justin Bass also 18 caps for the Philippines. Got 15 minutes across the two legs against Dewa United. But he's going to start the match from the beginning in this one. Here is Justin Bass. And Manila Digger restart the play by going backwards. But Aguilas aren't afraid to settle in that mid-block to be compact. Obvious foul there on Nishioka from Cartalo, probably a foul that just says, I'm not going to let you have an easy evening tonight. Here's Usman Guy. And once again, Villarreal showing that he is going to take a lot of action tonight against Usman Guy.
You already know this match is heating up to be a very physical one between these two teams, especially Manila Digger and Aguilas UMAK. 8 minutes in and Boubacar Diallo already on a yellow card for a challenge on Toure.
Aguilas settling into a 4-5-1 shape at the moment. Very compact in the midfield, not allowing Manila Digger to have space in dangerous areas. Need to remain concentrated for the whole 90 to keep it up. And Villarreal once again keeping a close eye on Usman Guy. Here's Bass though. Shot taken, missed. And it's cleared by Aguilas. Aguilas can take this throw quickly, but Ziggy Taninco keeping a close eye on that one as well. Taninco settling into that right back spot very seamlessly as well, despite his young age.
It's good to see these young players shine as well, especially in the side for Manila Digger.
Pede with the diagonal. Here's Richard Talarok taking on Felonco. Left-footed cross into a dangerous area. Once again, Isa Diallo heavily involved. Actually, that might have been Jibrila as well. Not afraid to get forward from midfield.
Gotta love the fight that Aguilas are showing, especially in the opening 10 minutes of this matchup.
Aguilas definitely want to prove themselves against a top 6 team, because they actually haven't beaten a top 6 team except when they beat Maharlika, who were in the top 6 at the time. So their best result against one of their rivals was that 0-0 draw earlier on this calendar year. Out wide to Bukit. Taninco in there first. And here is Bukit, very electric player, very pacey. Early cross, too close to Omar Enji, who goes for the quick release. He's going to drop to Shiraoka, and there's an obvious foul there by Usman Guy on Villarreal. I think that was just Guy telling Villarreal some of his frustrations, because Villarreal has defended well so far. Here was that altercation.
Villarreal just trying to block off the run of Guy. But Guy had no chance on the ball and just continued on to push on that back of Villarreal.
Villarreal.
Side of Guy, you'd feel that it was obstruction, but for the side of Villarreal, you'd feel that that was a foul as he put his shoulders completely onto the back of Villarreal.
Very heated here. Aguilas have another chance to take the lead, and they do. 12 minutes in, first blood to Aguilas UMAK FC. Incredible. They capitalize on an error, which is unlike Manila Digger. But they've started the game well, so you could argue it's a deserved lead.
Aguilas not allowing Digger to settle in this matchup. They started off strong in the first 15 minutes, put on the pressure, capitalized on the mistakes, and Jibrila gets a goal. The opener in this matchup and has scored in back-to-back outings for the side of Aguilas UMAK.
Got that winner against Philippine Army, and in the next game, given the trust by Coach Bing, who he hugs in celebration, and he repays that faith once again. But Manila Digger now find themselves in a situation that they're not too familiar with this season, and that's losing a football match. And they are all of a sudden having to mount a comeback from such an early period in this match.
You feel that Aguila started this game with such tenacity, with this fiery momentum of needing to prove themselves. And in return, able to get a goal early in this game. Still, anything can happen. Digger have yet to really settle in this matchup.
This game is turning very physical. There are so many off-the-ball arguments that you might not be able to see if you're not in the stadium. But like just even then, I saw Usman Guy and the two center backs of Aguilas just pushing each other around. That's the type of emotion that's going into this game. Very heated. And no wonder why winner of this match again gets 4th place, but means so much more than that at the same time. Chance now maybe for Manila Digger. The cut back to Bas is straight into Shiraoka. First involvement of the front line of Manila Digger, but Shiraoka, who got an assist against Army, makes the save. It was a quite routine save for him as well.
I have to give it for Shiraoka. As a goalkeeper, already has an assist and a goal to his name this season.
Shiraoka playing against his former teammate in Kenji Nishioka. More on that later. Here come Aguilas. They look really up for it this evening. Peña beating Bas to that 50-50. Referee's gonna pull it back for that foul. They look up for this, Aguilas. And it's gonna be a card for Bas. Sorry to cut you off, Natasha.
A lot of big challenges, reckless challenges all around. Let's see another replay of that. And pull it a little bit back from the last glimpse so that it looks like Bas got a bit of Peña's legs as well. And that replay just couldn't be too sure if he got the ball first and then the legs.
Well, the drum squad is helping, but you can feel the atmosphere. It's a bit palpable at the moment. Players flying into 50-50 slide challenges. Justin Bas on the wrong end of that one. And Justin Bas didn't start either of their legs against Dewa United. We'll probably feel that he deserves to be a starting player for Manila Digger. That foul, probably just a little bit of frustration from his chances, or for his chance earlier that was saved by Shiraoka. Crossing opportunity for Aguilas, bit far out and a bit direct, so they're gonna have to create an angle. Another chance to test Manila Digger's backline. Actually, it looked like Peña went for the shot. It's gonna turn it into a potential counter-attack now for Manila Digger. Ball will stay though with Aguilas, who have been excellent in these opening 16 minutes, and they've been rewarded with the Jibrila goal.
First 16 minutes, we've seen 2 yellow cards and a goal.
And here come Aguilas again, long shot. Gonna be a routine save for Omar NG, but you can feel there's a little bit of a confidence and the swagger whenever Aguilas get the ball in that final third. I think they're just sensing a little bit of tired legs perhaps from Manila Digger. Again, they have to travel back and forth to Indonesia, and they're having to play a congested schedule because of their international games. But you can just see that in these opening 16 minutes, 17 now, Manila Digger haven't been their usual selves, especially in that defensive half.
Credit as well goes to the high press being put by Aguilas, forcing, as we saw earlier, that backline to really make those errors that we rarely see from them. Just bulldozing their way down the middle, and Jibrila getting the goal from that.
Nishioka trying to head that onto the path of Usman Guy, but Usman Guy unable to read that. Nishioka hasn't been as involved as he feels a player of his quality should be. Still a lot of time left though, but Here come Aguilas once again. Felonco in for the challenge. Feel that this side nearest to the touchline is going to be an intense battle for the whole 90 minutes with Felonco, the two Talarocs, Nishioka there as well. So much quality on display. Here's Toure, their joint top scorer, combining with Usman Guy, driving into the penalty box. More last-ditch defending from Aguilas. Back with Manila Digger though. Taninco. Bas. Toure is onside, but the cross is not going to find anyone. That's far too overhit for any yellow shirt to get on the end of.
Aguilas have been organized defensively, closing down the players with the ball. At that moment, Toure had that time and space, but just couldn't get the hit right on the cross. Ball falls back with Aguilas.
Usually see Toure there be a little bit more composed. That's why he has so many goals and assists this season. Even in big games, he scored against Kaya on more than one occasion actually. But it wasn't a good cross there. No foul called by the referee. Actually, there is one called. That was the tackle from Bukit on Taninco, and that is also going to be a very important tackle, or a very important duel for this evening between Taninco and Bukit. Both of them, I believe, 22 years of age.
A lot of young players being featured in this matchup. As you've mentioned earlier to me as well, off-air, Babukar Toure, only 20 years old.
Incredible. They've already established themselves as one of the big names in this league. Here he is once again, trying to look for a teammate. Looked like Tete got the clearance. Not once, but twice. Here's Bukit. Just see the movements of Bukit. His change of direction and acceleration over a few yards is very, very fast. So Taninco has to be awake for this whole game as well.
Aguilas, a team that have been very busy. Every window that there is available. And regardless of the change in manpower, able to get big results, as you've mentioned, in the first round, got the draw against Manila Digger, and currently with the lead 1-0 against them.
Another mistake nearly from Manila Digger, but just about keep it. You can see the pressure being applied by Aguilas when they can identify those pressing triggers. Very effective so far. That looked like a foul though by Richard Tete.
A player that we haven't really mentioned is Mane for the side of Manila Digger. Hasn't been very involved into the action, and that's very rare because usually he is the player that controls that midfield for the side of Manila Digger.
He'll be up against Peña for majority of this match. Peña, by the way, hasn't been given too many starts by Aguilas, but he's going to be given the faith tonight. Very talented player. Used to play with Stallion, but now playing with Aguilas, like the likes of Villarreal and Caloocan. So they have that chemistry as well from Stallion that they've brought over to Aguilas. Gibrilla, Peña, excellent switch of play. First time as well. Here's Bukit taking on Taninco. Trying to find Gibrilla running in behind, but he couldn't execute it properly. Here's Usman Guy now. Taken down. No foul though by the referee. Actually, he does bring it back. It did look like a foul at first glance, but I think Usman Guy wants a little bit more in terms of punishment. He's not going to get it though.
You can see the referee held back the call to give the advantage, and when there was no advantage, called the foul. And as he did mention, it was a heavy challenge, so you could understand the frustration. wanting more than just a call.
Looks like Modu Juf and Jordan Jarvis are going to have a lot of the ball this evening. Aguilas not afraid to sit defensively deep. Here come Manila Digger though. Kenji Nishioka nearly on the end of it, and it's a clearance of anywhere will do from Aguilas. Did it go out for a corner kick? I think it did because the ball flew really high. I couldn't actually see where it landed, but here's Nishioka. Corner kick taken quickly. In right away by Felonco. It's a very high one. Shiraoka opts for the punch. Jarvis. Juf. Looking for Nishioka, but the pass wasn't properly aimed. Potential high boot there, but no foul call by the referee. Here's Nishioka once again. Again, Nishioka holds a Philippine passport, was born in Quezon City. Doesn't speak the best English, but speaks great Tagalog. Here is Nishioka. So compact in that defensive third for Aguilas. They're gonna concede another corner. Better spell for Manila Digger.
And that was a crucial touch defensively from Cartalarok. Nishioka, one of the players who really excels in finding and exploiting pockets of space with strategic precision. Been a great add-on for the side of Manila Digger.
Nishioka with the in-swinger, met by a header from his teammate, but Shiraoka, very alert goalkeeping, concedes another corner, but it could have been much worse. Nishioka's gonna have another chance to find the teammate. There's a player on the ground, so the referee's just gonna have to pause things a little bit. There's a lot of words being exchanged here, and no surprise, it's starting to heat up.
Before this game even started, we already knew it was going to be a heated, volatile, hostile matchup between these two teams. Cards already for both sides.
Here was that chance. Header into the ground, but it was a good save by Shiraoka. There was the extracurricular action, which hasn't finished, by the way. So Chris Mark Nanyola is definitely going to be a busy referee for this evening. It looks like Tete and Jordan Jarvis in the middle of all the chaos, but the referee is finally going to allow play to continue. Actually, not yet. There's still more extracurriculars. 26 minutes in now. It's absolutely flown by. But for those of you who have missed it, it was Jibrila of Aguilas giving them the lead. Here's Nishioka's corner. Met by Caloocaran. Felonco tried to go for the volley, couldn't hit it well. It's not clear just yet. Very messy. Nishioka, first touch. Unable to control it, and Shiraoka absolutely furious that there was no foul called on him, but that was a nervous moment for Aguilas.
When you take a look at that play, going on to Jarvis, and that could have went rolling down the arm of Jibrila. Aguilas are very lucky. No one is seeing that. The scramble eventually cleared out by Aguilas.
Shiraoka going long. Don't think Aguilas will be afraid to be a little bit more direct than usual, especially for this match. Tackle there from Caloocaran, and Peña picks up the ball. Excellent work from Peña. Here come Aguilas. Jarvis has to backtrack. Header from quite a distance. Was never gonna trouble Omar Ng. There's Cartalarok with the header. Ball back with Shiraoka now.
Manila Digger, after collecting the ball, quickly trying to go direct. Aguilas able to deal with the initial challenge.
Here is Juf going long. Will this be reached by Mane? It is. Excellent footwork, but it's going to go out for a goal kick. Again, Villarreal, you wouldn't think that he is, I believe, 37 years of age now. You can see he still has that burst of pace whenever he's having to do some defending. And there is Coach Bing, as you mentioned, Natasha, formerly the assistant of Coach Yu. Also assisted in multiple different clubs across the Philippine football scene, and now being given the trust to be the head coach of Aguilas. Here's Nishioka. You can just see whenever Aguilas settle into this shape that Manila Digger don't have a solution just yet.
And it's very important for Aguilas to protect the lead that they have. They're quickly able to transition into that defensive formation to make sure that they have the numbers going up against a very tough Manila Digger.
Shiroka with the header out. Kalokaran with the clearance. Aguilas, by the way, might also be just conserving a little bit of energy because they played last Saturday. They're playing tonight, and on Sunday they have to play away at Cebu. So it's a very hectic schedule. And no wonder they might be just conserving energy in this first half, not pressing as high. But at the same time, they also do pick their moments to press high whenever they feel that there's an error in the cards of the back line of Manila Digger. That's a good ball, though, by Jarvis. But more good defending from Aguilas. This time, Boubacar Diallo, who is on a yellow card, has to play this game on thin ice. Good tracking there. Crossed in towards Usman Guy. Nishioka, will he keep this in? Felonco. Still Felonco. Cut back. Had too much power on it. Could it be controlled, but it's not cleared convincingly just yet. Bass goes down. No call from the referee. Book it. Now a chance for him to show his electric pace. Has a switch that's on. And it's Nishioka with the tracking back. Excellent defending from the winger.
Crucial stop from Nishioka. He's a player that you can depend on when it comes to the attacking front and defensively, able to show that support as well. And you have to feel for Justin Bass, just a boot to his face. No call there.
Mane on the end of this one, takes the shot. Excellent block by Peña. Chance still on. Here's Nishioka. Another early cross from Felonco, but no one on the end of that. Peña has been excellent so far. Very, very energetic in midfield, and he's up against a very mature and very powerful midfield, but he's showing his worth in these opening 31 minutes. Mane has Nishioka out wide. Uses him. Kenji Nishioka being guarded really well there. More good defending from Aguilas. Coach Bing telling his team to calm down. Nishioka to Mane. Plays it through to Guy. Offside flag was up before Guy could get on the end of it. And he's pushed down by Shiroka, but there was nothing in that.
It's quick movements from both Manila Digger and Aguilas. Jibrila has been such a good addition for the side of Aguilas UMAK. Such a strong physical player, able to hold off the ball, great awareness of his position.
And the midfielders of Aguilas really having to step up, especially in the absence of team captain Nano Amita. This one is going to roll out for a goal kick. 33 minutes now. Very chaotic match with a lot going on. Chances falling to Manila Digger, but Aguilas looking to capitalize on the counter. By the way, Motomane just ran to the fourth official to give him a few words. Here was that offside call, very tight one. And a mistake there by Villarreal. That's unlike him so far. Here's Nishioka. Oh, and two mistakes in a row by Villarreal. Advantage played. Here's Usman Guy. Bas. Baji. Toure. Looking for Jarvis. Up from center back. Goal kick is the decision, but I do wonder if there will be some punishment for Villarreal. There's a yellow card for that tackle on Nishioka, who's back up on his feet, but it was a very late one.
The referee just decides to let the advantage play on out and Manila Digger play around. Eventually, when the play ended, going outside, gives Villarreal the card. It was a late sliding tackle from him onto Nishioka. He was very lucky to get away with just a yellow.
The problem for this as well, you now have both center backs of Aguilas on a yellow card. One more foul, and they could get another red card. They got one last Saturday. There was another center back that got that red card. It was Giap Bongolan, who was playing as a center back in the first place because they were chasing that game. Referee is really... Oh, there's another yellow card. Odo Juf this time. Referee very busy. And if he's not careful, we saw this happen already. Players can get sent off for dissent. It's not out of the question.
When you feel of all the 4 yellow cards that were given throughout this matchup, that last one is just the worst. It's the worst one because that was just because of words exchanged. That you pick up a yellow card unnecessarily.
4 players on the pitch now have to play the rest of this game with anxiety. Here's Bas in an advanced position. Again, more last-ditch defending from Aguilas. Boubacar Diallo has been everywhere in a good way so far in this match. Aguilas, though, just dropping a little bit deeper and deeper as the first half goes on. Long towards Guy. Guy, will he get on the end of this? And out of absolutely nothing, it's 1-1. All that came from was a missed clearance and a duel. But Manila Digger, that's what they do best. They find a way when they face adversity. Toure also now makes himself the outright top scorer of his team.
A direct ball from the back line. That was Talaroc, who couldn't really clear that out of danger with the pressure being put on by the attacking players of Manila Digger. And in the middle of all that scramble, Toure finds the back of the net, gets the equalizer. Very heated and physical matchup. And on both occasions, goals coming from attacking players just bulldozing their way through the back line, forcing defenders to make mistakes. And now it's 1-1 and game on.
What might frustrate Aguilas even more was the fact that for all their good last-ditch defending, Toure had an easy goal. He just ran on the end of that clearance. But he's not going to turn down the invitation to score such a goal. He's been doing that all season, and That's why he already is on 12 as things stand. 37 minutes in, not too long before halftime, but Manila Digger now on the ascendancy. Jordan Jarvis, goal scorer Toure, still going. Goes to ground, but there was no foul called by the referee. It's a shame if you're Aguilas because you made that blitzkrieg start. Here's Peña. Oh, great work from Peña. Beating the pressure, 2-on-1. Book it. Combining with Peña, excellent play. A glimpse there on the talent that's on the cards for Aguilas. Very young team as well, but talent definitely not a question.
It's good to see Justin Peña getting the minutes in, proving his worth, fighting for that first 11 slot.
Thing is as well, if you're Aguilas, you've been dropping deeper and deeper in this first half, that it's going to be a hard adjustment for it to be level again, so you have to go forward once again. But they might have to do more backtracking. Nishioka down the left, has Guy in front of him. Cuts inside. A lot of traffic in front of him. Goes for the reverse pass. Justin Bass, not on the same wavelength, but you can just see when Nishioka gets the ball, he can see little angles and little windows of passes that most midfielders and wingers can't really see.
Definitely one of the playmakers for the side of Manila Digger. Just capable of creating chances and breaking up plays and finding those spaces in between.
Here come Aguilas though. Into the penalty box. Shooting opportunity blocked by Jarvis. Here's Nishioka once again. Brave defending from Villarreal, who's on a yellow card to come so far out of that center back position.
It was an important touch from Villarreal to just contain Nishioka and to delay the counter, allowing the Aguilas players to get back in position defensively.
Definitely have to keep a close eye on Keiji Nishioka for the rest of this match. The player from Manila Digger who has the most minutes across the whole squad. Here he is again. Excellent first touch. Left-footed cross is going to win a corner kick. You can just see whenever Nishioka gets the ball, players of Manila Digger, they flood the penalty box because they know that he can definitely work some magic. 8 goals, 4 assists this season. Corner taken short. Pass back to Nishioka. Wasn't the best, but he's going to work it back in. Excellent cross. And it was actually touched backwards from, I think it was Mane or Toure. Excellent cross from Nishioka.
Not only is he such a technical player, but the work rate is there as well, whether it comes on the defensive duties or the attacking.
And of course, for those of you who haven't heard it just yet, he does hold the Philippine passport. So anything is possible for Kenji Nishioka. Great run forward by Toure. Will he keep it in? He does. Once again, another defensive clearance from Boubacar Diallo, who's done that so many times in this first half. Rock solid. And on a yellow card. So even more impressive because he's keeping his composure so far. Another corner kick for Nishioka. They already created one chance from this type of scenario. Sent in towards Usman Guy. Cleared by Villarreal, who stayed down. Nishioka chips it back post. Jarvis! Ping-ponging in the penalty box, but the referee, I think, called a handball. That was after the header back from Jarvis. So had that gone in, that would have counted. Another great save by Shiraoka.
And Manila Digger causing all kinds of trouble on set-piece opportunities Again, I think that was a handball onto the hand of Bukit. I think that 2 times in a row already inside the box. Aguilas have gotten away with 2 penalty shouts.
Jibrilla venturing forward from midfield, definitely something that they've worked on the training ground. Tete to Kalokaran. Great footwork from the left back. Cross is sent in. Tough chance for any goal scoring opportunity. Usman guy keep this in up against Villarreal. Another example there of Villarreal's aggressiveness. On a yellow card as well.
And Pao Usman guy is that much taller than Villarreal. But as a seasoned defender, just timed that header perfectly.
Looks like a foul. Advantage played by the referee. Cross looking for Bass. Right idea. Execution just slightly off. Justin Bass as well. Making those runs forward from midfield. Started his career as a center back, but very versatile. I think there was just an arm to the face here. Modo Juf winning that foul. Not intentional. Nothing more than a simple foul, but Modo Juf has gone down at the same time. Referee is going to add additional time any moment now. 2 minutes is the confirmed number.
Of additional time.
This first half has flown by.
Despite all the fouls and the physicality throughout this first half, players quick to get back up after challenges. And only 2 minutes of added time.
Nishioka goes in field. Here's Bass. Out wide to Taninko. Overlap by Bass. Crossing opportunity. Looking for Guy. Excellent header. Sucker punch for Aguilas UMAK FC. But that's what Manila Digger do. And after going behind to start this half, they're going to go into halftime ahead. An example of why they are undefeated this season.
What a well-executed play for Manila Digger.
For Manila Digger.
An overlapping run. Justin Bass with the cross inside the box. A sea of blue and red. And the only player from Manila Digger to leapfrog ahead of all the players, just ball watching around him. Pao Usman guy gets the header and gets the go-ahead.
Shiraoka looked to his defense as if to say, you guys outnumber him 4-1, 5-1. There's no way any Manila Digger player should be getting a free header. No one jumped with him. And Shiraoka is probably the most frustrated Aguilas player at the moment because he's not had any involvement for those 2 goals. Couldn't do much about the first, couldn't do much about the second, but somehow he finds his team behind right before halftime. Look at the time. It was the most ideal time to get that go-ahead goal. Referee already has the whistle in his mouth.
If you're Manila Digger, you're gonna come into the halftime with your heads held up high, getting that advantage right before the half.
There you have it, halftime whistle blown by the referee. A half that's had everything. Aguilas going ahead, believe it or not, early on with Jibrilla, but Toure and Usman Guy, 2 of their top scorers, adding more to their tally to make it 2-1 in favor of Manila Diggers. Still 45 minutes to go, so don't go anywhere because this match is a really exciting one. Be back for the second half. It has been a very action-packed first half between Manila Digger FC and Aguilas UMAK FC. 2-1. The scoreline currently reads courtesy of an opening goal from Aguilas Gibrilla in the 13th minute before a double punch from Manila Digger, Toure and Guy right before halftime. It was a game that had just about everything in that first 45, Natasha.
That's right. It was Gibrilla and Aguilas who were taking advantage of that physicality, bulldozing their way through the defenders and getting the opening goal during that first 15 minutes, where in Aguilas you feel dominated a lot of the possession. They didn't allow Diggers to settle in that match, but eventually Diggers finding their groove, finding their momentum, and eventually in the last 15 minutes able to score not just the equalizer, but the go-ahead before the break. And this was the opening goal. That was a Mane to Guy who just pushed over Villarreal, or Talarok rather. And it was a free ball for Toure to slot into the back of the net. A lot of scrambles inside the box. And that was Toure again linking up with Justin Abbas on that right-hand side. The signing in that mid-season. Finding Pao Guy alone. Despite having 4 or 5 Aguilas players surrounding him, the only Digger player inside the box leapfrogs ahead everyone and finds the back of the net. Manila Digger with 57% possession, 8 shots, 7 on target, 2 converted. A lot of fouls, a lot of cards as well. They had 2 cards for Bas and Juve, and for the side of Aguilas, 43% possession, 4 shots, 2 on target, 1 was converted. They also have 2 yellow cards, and that's their center backs in Bobacar Diallo and Reynald Villarreal.
You wouldn't be surprised as well if the current scoreline is added to in this second half because of how many chances both Manila Digger had and Aguilas as well. In that first half of the first half, were able to manufacture some openings, but after perhaps the 30th minute, it was Manila Digger who rose to the ascendancy, and they got those 2 goals. First one wasn't pretty, but they found a way to force it over the line. Second goal, though, was a really well-taken team goal. Players combining down the flanks, and then the header was exceptional from Usman Guy, who has really settled into that striker position really well. Saiku Sisei on the bench, not only for this match, but also in their games against Dewa United. Usman Guy showing what he can do as that starting striker. And that header, he jumped like a salmon. But I think what might frustrate Aguilas really was, you already mentioned it, there was no one leaping with him, even though they had the numbers advantage, heavily had the numbers advantage. Teams coming out now for the second half, going to be interesting to see if there's any halftime subs. We'll confirm whether or not there have been, but both teams also have full benches for this match, so don't be surprised if all 5 subs are used in this match. Again, both of these teams will play tonight, then Aguilas go to Cebu on Sunday, and Manila Digger have so many games to think about as well because of their congested schedule and because of the fact that they're in the semifinals of the AFC Challenge League, meaning they're part of the last 2 teams standing in the East Asia bracket.
And when it comes to this matchup so far, it's literally had everything. We've had goals, cards, physicality, beautiful plays, everything, you name it. And we hope for the second half to be just as thrilling and exciting. UMAK took advantage of that early momentum that they got and able to convert a goal. But eventually, Manila Digger finding their momentum in the game late in the last 15 minutes. And 2 goals in quick succession right before the half. And this is going to be a crucial time for Aguilas to see how they respond, how they react, and how the halftime talk can help them perform better this second half. And for Manila Digger, it's all up to them. Again, the only team that has not been beaten in the PFL. or in the AFC Challenge League. Currently on a historic season. And let's see if they can push their unbeaten record even further.
It doesn't look like there'll be any halftime substitution, so both coaches are going to trust the 11 that was on the pitch in that first half. Manila Digger might maintain that game plan that saw them mount a comeback and take the lead, while I'm sure Coach Bing of Aguilas was drilling into them the fact that they already showed promise in that first part of the first half, and they need to show more of that energy that got them that go-ahead goal. Still 45 minutes, very long time for either side to add more goals to their tally. Four players as well from both teams on yellow cards, including the center-back pairing of Aguilas. And for Manila Digger, it's Justin Bass and Modu Juf, who were cautioned by referee Chrismark Nanyola. Second half underway, Manila Digger kicking from left to right, and Aguilas, UMAK FC going the other way.
You have to say, really, for this Manila Digger side, not only in the PFL, but also on the international stage, such a young team. Only 3 seasons in the PFL, but already fighting their way at the top of the table. The scouting really for this squad has been on another level. Getting players from Gambia to play for this side, as well as the local pickups that they've had. Especially when it comes to the likes of Taninko, Nishioka, and most recently, Justin Bass.
Chance maybe here for Manila Digger right after halftime. Excellent tackle from Caloocaran. Really good one-on-one defender, and another example there. He has been switched on tonight, and it's a bit harsh for some of these Aguilas players because a lot of them, you know, Caloocaran, Peña, Shiraoka, they've played well and perhaps don't deserve to be behind. Here's Taninko getting the better of Bukit, but Bukit in the end forcing a goal kick.
Left defensive side already tested on 2 occasions. Manila Digger wanting to beat the players on the 1v1s, but Aguilas doing well.
Chance for Aguilas to build forward. Here's Bukit. That one going straight to NG. Bit of a calmer start in this second half compared to the fireworks start first half. Jarvis, Juf, Felonco. Felonco, by the way, naturally a midfielder, but seamless transition to that left back position.
Logger has been a player that they've slotted in, as you mentioned, as a left back, as a center midfielder for the side Manila Digger. One of the players that can really slot in different positions. Say that him alongside Nishioka, who sometimes plays as a midfielder or as a winger. And also you have the likes of Justin Bass, who can slot in as a midfielder and as a center back if needed. So the signings of Manila Digger for the local players capable of playing different positions.
Aguilas down the right-hand side. Manila Digger defending deep, but they concede a foul. It's going to be a set piece opportunity for Aguilas. It's Richard Tate on the end of that, doing well to buy his team a free kick and a decent spot actually.
Aguilas haven't been as they wanted to when it comes to open play. They are a team that has a high record when it comes to make the most of this opportunity.
The angle for this free kick. Possible that a shot could be taken. At the same time, a cross is also an option. Peña, one of those standing over the ball. The other looks like Talarok from a long distance, unable to get that on target.
Ball will eventually fall for Manila Digger. Comfortably play from the back.
Omar NG didn't start the season as the #1 goalkeeper. That position was actually held by Asong, but he has played his way into that starting position. And it looks like every game now, it's guaranteed that he'll be between the sticks. Here come Manila Digger. Very, very scrappy in the midfield, but they win that duel. There's Baji now, slowing things down. Again, Aguilas do well to get back in numbers, but they are behind now, so you'd imagine in this second half, there will come a point where they start to pour more and more bodies forward in search of that equalizer. And again, they do have a deep bench that is available for Coach Bing. Taninko. Challenge coming in from Bukit. Wayward pass from Justin Bass, but he's been good as well in this half. Got that assist for Usman Guy with that overlapping run from midfield. And Justin Bass, 18 caps for the Philippines. Already played as well against his former team in Kaya when Manila Digger won that match.
Mentioned Justin Bass. Appearances under his belt for the national team. He's played in the Malaysian League and in the Thai League as well for Melaka and Uthai Thani. He hasn't been needed or used just yet in the AFC Challenge League in their last 2 outings. But in this match so far, able to get an assist in already.
There's Bukit trying to go around Taninko. Here's Tate. Very tenacious midfield battle from both sides. Mistakes like that, though, won't help Aguilas' case because they need to rebuild some of that momentum that they had but lost after going behind. Usman Guy is going to chase this. It's going to go back to Shiraoka. Double change being prepared, by the way, for Aguilas. One of them, Palpalatok, who's usually a fullback, is going to check in. Peña loses the ball in a dangerous spot. Here's Usman Guy. Mane! Straight into Villarreal. They are asking for handball, but the referee is not going to give it. Here's Bukit. Oh, great footwork from Bukit, but it's too close to Jordan Jarvis, who does really well.
Not only does he time that sliding tackle really well, but able to keep possession for the side of Manila Digger.
But they give it away again. Nishioka. Nishioka! Near post finish to make it 3-1. and to put a little bit of parity between Manila Digger and Aguilas, and plus points for the celebration as well. But this is a player on some real fine form.
Nishioka now puts Digger in a comfortable lead. That play started from the back. Jarvis winning back possession. That was Guy setting up Nishioka. Pass from Guy onto the path of Nishioka. No one really closing him down and quickly able to take a snapshot. And you can always rely on Kenji Nishioka to change it up with the celebrations every time he gets a goal. As you mentioned, a player in fine form at the moment. He is on a deadly scoring streak.
Could get worse for Aguilas. But just speaking on that, just see Nishioka was so smart with the way he took his finish. Opened his body up as if to say, I'm going to curl this far post, and then he catches his former teammate in Shiraoka off guard by going near post. So intelligent because he also uses Villarreal as a screen for Shiraoka to be unable to see that ball.
That's really what he brings to the table, a magician, able to invent something out of nothing, able to wiggle his way, make some space, create some magic. And you'd say definitely a player who deserves a call-up in the national team.
Definitely in the cards for the future camps. Of course, the squad for this upcoming men's national team camp has already been called up. We have two representatives of the Philippine Football League in Patrick Dato and Daisuke Sato, who will try to help us get back into the Asian Cup against Tajikistan in that must-win game at the end of March. But back onto this match, may have missed it because of the celebrations, but Isa Diallo and JV Caloocaran have gone off for Palpalatok and Ibrahim Adamu. Like-for-like changes, but Coach Bing will hope for a little bit more energy from the subs. And again, they have to go to Cebu on Sunday. So a little bit of squad rotation, and that may have been pre-planned as well before this match even started. Guy switch to Nishioka is on. Eventually uses it, but Palpalatok able to read that pass. Looking for Adamu. Two subs combining there. Peña. Looking for Jibrila. And Felonco is holding his back. Cross comes in. Talarok on the end of it. Fake shot. Crossed in, but it's straight. Justin Bass. Felonco doesn't look okay, by the way. You can see him hit the deck. That was a non-contact injury there because he just fell to the ground. Definitely the last player you want to lose, your captain.
Manila Digger have not made any substitutions just yet. Not good to see your captain down, taking a while to get back on his feet. Just joining us, this is the main event for your Wednesday doubleheader. Manila Digger versus Aguilas UMAK. At the moment, it's Manila Digger with a 3-1 advantage. Goals from your top three players. One for Toure, one for Guy, and one for Nishioka.
But here was that moment where Fedonco just held onto his back. That looks a little bit concerning also, because there was nothing actually happening. You can see a lot of magic spray being put on. There are a couple of Manila Digger players warming up quite vigorously. There's actually 3. Won't be surprised if a sub is used. There's actually a sub right now. One of them Charles Dabao, and the other looks like Troy Limbo. You'd imagine that Dabao would come on for Felonco. Limbo.
Also another player that they picked up during the most recent transfer window. Did play with Cebu. Now finding his home with Manila Digger.
There's Bukit up against Jordan Jarvis. Uses Tete. It's back to Bukit. Crossed into a dangerous area. Gibrilla was unable to turn that goalwards. Felonco has jogged back to the dugout as if to say he can play on, but I don't think they will take any risk with this one. Speaking of not taking any risks, it's going to be an early rest also for Kenji Nishioka, who's replaced by Troy Limbo. And yeah, it's Charles Dabao on for Felonco. Fine form for Kenji Nishioka continues. Got a goal against Dewa United as well in this stadium. Very, very exciting player to watch out for.
Two players being replaced down that left flank of Manila Digger, the left wing and that left back. Dabao comes on for Felonco and Limbo comes on for Nishioka. Both players get the applause as they exit the field. Felonco, the captain, and Nishioka has been such a thrilling player to watch and cover.
Very hotly contested in the midfield there. Aguilas eventually get the ball. Here's Peña. Aguilas running out of time to work a response. Just under 30 minutes of regulation time for them to make up a 2-goal deficit against a team that is so hard to score against, even though they did take the lead. Instant replies from Manila Digger. Early cross from Bukit in towards Adamu. Just slightly too much power on that one. Palpalatok taking the throw quickly. Aguilas going direct, but that one too close to the goalkeeper, who's gonna take the invitation to run down a few more seconds. Such an amazing thing as well that you can sign a player like Charles Dabao and have him on your bench, because that was a starter for Cebu. Heavy tackle there on Justin Bass from Peña.
It's been a heated battle as well between Justin Bass and Justin Peña. As the ball went through the legs of Bass, players just colliding with one another.
Justin Bass only picked up a total of 15 minutes across the two legs against Dewa United. But he's still here after 62 minutes. Won't be surprised also if he's gonna play the full 90. Long ball from NG. Looks promising for Manila Digger. There was a foul. Amidst all that, here's Bukit. Taninco has been on his case the whole night.
Feel the urgency coming in from Aguilas. Quickly Digger able to win back possession.
There's Mane. There's more emphasis now for Aguilas to be a little bit more aggressive. They can't settle into that mid to deep block like they did in the first half, because they now have to chase this game. Win back the ball here. Can they make a chance out of it? They have it down the right. Two players running into each other. Palpalatok. Cart Talarok. It's Richard Talarok. Passes straight to Mane. Usman Guy now. Still Usman Guy. No need to rush things if you're Manila Digger. You have a confident lead. You have that safety net as well with the 2 goals. So it's actually Usman Guy just juggling the ball there. That's a sign that the lead, they feel at least, is comfortable.
Right before the break, Manila Digger able to get the advantage. And early in the second half, 53rd minute, able to get that insurance goal as well. Aguilas having a hard time coming back into this game.
Mane straight into Guy. He's gonna look for Toure. Toure beats Villarreal. Doesn't beat his center back partner in Diallo, who went in 2-footed. Very robust challenge. No protest though from Toure. Villarreal, if he gets clipped there, Toure, Villarreal is probably sent off. And that one was also a very heavy one. Got the ball, but just a few inches off. Could have been a very ugly challenge.
That was a studs high, studs up, double-footed challenge by Boubacar Diallo. Already on a yellow card. He had to time that one to complete perfection.
Staninko, no one near him. Crossed in. Headed away by Bukit. Back into a dangerous area by Baji, and Villarreal doesn't deal with it first time around. He's gonna win a foul though, to the dismay of Modou Diouf. It's also on a yellow card, but that foul, just the coming together between the two players.
The defensive line of Aguilas had to work on overtime here just to contain this relentless attacking force of Manila Digger.
Foul there by Cart Talarok. Again, Manila Digger, they're so good at just finding different ways to win a game. Even after going behind, they had the mentality and they also had the focus to not only equalize, but score the go-ahead goal just a few minutes after. And then right after halftime, another really good time to get a goal. Kenji Nishioka adding the third. It's Cart Talarok switching sides with Bukit. Cart Talarok goes for the shot. Probably was going out anyway, but Omar NG not taking any risk. I think Manila Digger won't mind if you're forcing Aguilas players to take shots from that far out.
Cart Talarok trying to invite the defenders on out. He cuts himself some space to take a shot. That was covered by NG.
It's going to be another double change for Aguilas when there's a dead ball, but clearly a sign from Coach Bing to say that this second half hasn't gone their way and it could get even worse. There's Toure. Will he keep it in? He does really well to keep that in play. Mane. Still Mane. Forced to the corner flag. Concedes a throw, and that's going to signal the double change now for Aguilas.
That was defensively good work from Tete to contain just that attacking threat that Mane brings as well. Goal scorer's day is done for Aguilas. Jibrila is replaced by Kwong.
Mikhailo Jibrila is replaced by player number 79, David Kong. And player number 27, Ring Bukit, is replaced by player number 21, Kira Yamamoto.
So an early rest giving to Bukit, who is replaced by Yamamoto, who actually has 4 assists this season. So an attacking-minded substitution, but again, the scoreline not favoring Aguilas at all, and the time is running out. Just 21 minutes now of regulation time.
4 changes in total have been made for the side of Aguilas all throughout the second half. Still trying to find ways to break down this Manila Digger side. After getting that go-ahead early in this game at the 12th minute, 13th minute by Jibrila, have yet to find ways to score again.
Staninko, cut back, Usman Guy, excellent block from Villarreal. The 2 number 15s clashing there. Usman Guy might have taken some damage from that block from Villarreal, but if you look at the team at the moment creating the better chances, it's still Manila Digger at this point.
Cut back pass, and Villarreal, another defensive challenge that had to be timed to perfection. Gets the ball there. You'd feel a little bit of Guy as well.
Usman Guy, also a player if you're Manila Digger. You really want to keep fit for the whole season because he's been in such great form. Especially because in terms of actually affecting games, he scored so many game-winning goals. Add so much different problems to the defenders he plays against. He's walking off the pitch a bit slowly, but I imagine he'll give this another go. Again, time running out for Aguilas, but it's also a matter now of rotating your squad because they have to travel to Cebu for that Sunday match. And Saiku Sise is being readied for Manila Digger, which is probably the last thing you want to see if you're the defense of Aguilas.
Saiku Sise, a player with 11 goals to his name. Such a deadly player to just have sitting on your bench. That's just how deep the bench is of Manila Digger. The players that are coming on to this matchup easily be starters on another day. So it's always like for like substitutions. They do not drop in quality.
They're gonna need to use their entire squad, especially when it comes to that point in the season where they have to play all the games that they lost because of their Challenge League campaign. Saiku Sise is gonna come on alongside David Sambo, who is a defender. Let's see if those are like-for-like changes or if there's a change in approach for this match. Here's Davao. Villarreal just about making that tackle, and that's going to signal the substitutions for Manila Digger.
First substitution being called up. Pao Usman Guy's day is done with a goal to his name in this matchup and will be replaced by Saiku Sise. Definitely a like-for-like substitution up on top. On the back, you wouldn't be surprised if it was Juve who is walking his way out of this matchup. He is on a yellow card. Sambu will be getting the tail end the minutes of this matchup.
Manila Digger's next match also is also on Saturday against Don Bosco Girl United. Long throw by Davao. Will it drop to Toure? Last-ditch defending. Back into the 6-yard box from Cisse, and he couldn't direct it goalwards, but it looked like at the same time Toure, all it needed was a touch goalwards, and it could have been 4-1.
What a throw-in by Davao. And what another attacking chance to have in your pocket. Having a player like that, one of your left backs, able to throw that ball along inside the box, causing problems. Shiroka had to be alert to the challenge to make sure the scoreline stays respectable.
First bit of defending there from David Sambu against Yamamoto, and he wins a goal kick. The thing is about Manila Digger as well, they're so good at managing leads. They're so good at remaining compact. Montague couldn't score against them. Kaya couldn't score against them in 2 games. And that's a sign of a really tough defense. Cisse getting to that before Villarreal. Justin Bass. Cisse nearly finding Mane. Still Cisse. Davao is going to go backwards. Omar NG looking for Toure. Will he get on the end of it? Toure through on goal. Toure! Excellent block off the line to keep the scoreline respectable. Very clutch goal line clearance there.
Richard Talarok does well there to make this stay at 3-1. Last-ditch defensive effort, goal line clearance from him.
The replay of that chance, just one long ball forward, but the athleticism of Toure gets the better of the defense of Aguilas, and Shiroka is beaten here. But Richard Talarok, look at that clearance. And while the scoreline isn't favorable to Aguilas at all, I think that's a moment Richard Talarok will look back and say he did well.
You have to give it to NG as well. The goalkeeper with the vision, the delivery to find the run of Toure up on top. Able to go from goal line onto an attacking threat. That would have been credited as an assist for him if that ball went in.
Thing is as well, Toure started his run really early on and he curled it from an offside position. You could see he has that chemistry with his teammate Omar NG. Excellent distribution from the goalkeeper, and it's becoming a really big part of the modern game that you need a goalkeeper that is excellent with the ball at their feet.
That's one of the reasons why Manila Digger just so prolific when it comes to their attacks. They have such diverse ways of attacking and are able to capitalize from these different ways. You have a goalkeeper who can give balls like that directly from your defensive line up to the attack. Same with your back line, capable of making those line-breaking passes as well to your attacking players.
Richard Talarok is going to win. He thinks should be a corner kick, but the referee giving that as a goal kick. Just over 10 minutes now until...
To add on as well earlier, you have the likes of Davao, who has proven that he has those long throws that Manila Digger can capitalize from. You also have the players like Nishioka, your playmakers inside, able of creating chances. Just such a complete team, this Manila Digger squad. complete 11 and change. Kasi ang lakas ng bench nila. They're proving to have such a great season so far. They're really one of the teams in the running for the title.
Manila Digger, they have 11 different sources of goals this season. So they're able to distribute the goal scoring duties across their entire squad. At the same time, they can score so many different types of goals, whether it's ugly or pretty. You've seen it all tonight, actually. They've scored the scrappy goals, but they've also scored the goals that just make you say, wow. Here's another one of those long throws by Davao. Forces corner kick. De Paula is going to check in for Aguilas UMAK FC. And I believe this is their last substitution. He's going to check in for, looks like, Richard Tate, who Aguilas probably want fresh for that Cebu game. So all 5 subs have been used by Coach Bing, partly to change the game and also perhaps to give important players rest. But there's actually a miscommunication here. Wrong player has been signaled off. It's not going to be Richard Tate, it's going to be another player, but that means Manila Digger are going to take this set piece before that change is made.
You also don't want to be making a substitution right when you're defending a corner kick as well.
Oh, the game's actually going to stop here because Omar NG is receiving a little bit of treatment. I think that was probably the reason why the game hasn't restarted yet. And just speaking on Manila Digger, such a deep bench. You even have Schaffner, who's not even on the bench, but he will be back soon from injury. All eyes will be on that firing semi-final on April 9 and April 16. Another home and away legs for that semi-final. The second leg will be the home one for Manila Digger. And by the way, when they hosted Dewa United here, it was a really good turnout in the Rizal Memorial Stadium because tickets were free. And they were able to take advantage of that atmosphere. They have a corner here that will be taken by Limbo in swinger, straight to an Aguilas head. Manila Digger just gonna restart the play and run down a few more seconds, but here's another chance for Omar NG. More good distribution from him, straight into Cisse. If it happens once, some will say it's a bit lucky, but that's twice now the goalkeeper has found his striker with a direct pass, so definitely see his distribution skills. Excellent work by Limbo. Breezes past Palpalatok, who recovers in fairness. Adamu, header, linking up with Kum. But Manila Digger so quick to get back in numbers. Yamamoto went past 2, but Taninko with the challenge. A challenge that Coach Bing and the entire coaching staff of Aguilas are not happy about.
You feel that was the right call by the referee. Moto got his way through a couple of players, but Taninko gets to the ball first. Follow through. Just allowing Yamamoto to hit a bit of the leg of Taninko. But that was a well-timed challenge from Taninko.
De Paula finally enters the pitch for Richard Tete. Yamamoto back up on his feet, but is limping after that tackle by Taninko. Adamu. Richard Talarok attempted a 1-2, was unsuccessful, so it's going to go out for another goal kick to Manila Digger. I think a team that will be happy with this result as it stands would be Stallion, because it means they're back within striking distance of Aguilas. There's Limbo. Mane. Limbo, who's gone from right to left. Taninko. And Taninko, energetic as ever. He's played the whole match so far. Played against Dewa, both legs. Still very young, but usually a stalwart in that under-23 men's national team. Sure, he wants to break into the senior one soon. Here's Saiku Cisse. Villarreal with a headed tackle, and I think because Villarreal went in with his head and Cisse put his boot out, it was a high foot from the striker.
Brave defending duties from Villarreal. He's had to do a lot today. That time around, gets the better of Cisse.
Ball looking for Adamo in behind. Cleared by Sambu, out for a corner kick. Looks like as well that JB Borlongan is going to enter the fray for Manila Digger. And again, that's another example of the insane depth that you have. You have a player here that used to start week in, week out for Dynamic Herb Cebu. And he's coming off the bench to see out the last 5 minutes of this game, but they're going to wait for the set piece to be played first. Yamamoto into a dangerous area, but the height of Manila Digger simply such a hard proposition to beat. Counter-attack here by Mane before Palpalatok made the clearance. Mane with the hands in his head. He saw that he could have been one-on-one against the goalkeeper.
Have to say at the moment, Manila Digger with a comfortable 3-1 advantage against Aguilas UMAK, and are making their way for another substitution. Borlongan will be featuring last few minutes of this game. Justin Bass' day is done.
1 assist to his name for Justin Bass for that go-ahead goal right before halftime. His best contribution in this match. He's going to be given the last 4 minutes to rest, and Borlongan, again, used to start for Cebu, adding even more depth to this bench of Manila Digger. Sadamu, tracked very closely by Jordan Jarvis. Borlongan with the long-range effort, got the power, but the direction straight to the goalkeeper. But that was a sign of his quality. Borlongan, one of those players that doesn't really have a weak foot. I've seen him take set pieces with his left and right. Very difficult to defend against.
You gotta love when your players off the bench come on, their first few touches on the ball quickly become a chance on goal. Proving to show that Manila Digger with a really deep bench, players hungry for minutes, all wanting to prove their name and to fight and challenge for that 11th slot.
Fans might forget that Borlongan also is a Philippine international. He's been in the squad a few times and has already made his debut for that national team. Again, Manila Digger really close now to sealing all 3 points, and already beaten so many of the big teams. They find a way once again to keep that run going, to keep that form intact. The question really across the whole league is, can anyone stop them? A lot of fans, I'm sure, will be looking forward to whenever One Taguig and Manila Digger play. That will be a really good game.
Feel that matchup between Manila Digger and Taguig continuously getting postponed. The further Manila Digger get into the AFC Challenge Cup.
Saiku Cisse was going for the crossfield pass, but didn't get the execution correct. apologizing to Davao. But again, because of the scoreline, they're able to try things that they probably wouldn't try when the game was equal, but that's how good they've been tonight.
Had 3 goals so far, 3 different goal scorers. Ture for the equalizer, Guy for the go-ahead, and Nishioka for the insurance. I also want to take this time to invite everyone. As well, the Filipinas on Uzbekistan tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. An important do-or-die matchup. Chance at the World Cup once again.
Probably the biggest game Filipino football related across this whole year so far. Here down for Manila Diggers, so the referee's gonna stop the game. It's Ture holding his head. And again, that match is actually tomorrow morning, so we'll have to set an alarm. It's at 11 a.m. I don't need to set an alarm for that, but that is a really exciting game. 1 win away from another World Cup, and I'll be very nervous for that game, but such an exciting prospect. Be that close to another World Cup.
There will be a minimum of 4
There was a
minutes.
challenge made. No one
Time.
really feel that Villarreal didn't really get ahead to it. The ball just glides across the face of Ture. Not ideally, as he was not prepared for that. And so national team games coming up in just a bit. March 19, tomorrow morning, Filipinas will be taking on Uzbekistan. Save the date, as well as March 31 for the Philippine men's national team taking on Tajikistan, the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. 2 important games for our national team.
Technical Director of Aguilas, Coach Kim, having words with 4th official. He is not happy about something. He is being told to go back to the bench. There's actually words being exchanged from the 2 coaches. Coach Basliu, Coach Kim, seeing the funny side of it.
I wonder what all the commotion is about.
Yamamoto's cross into a dangerous area. Shot taken by Peña is deflected behind 4 corner. Any goal now might be too late, but would at least be a consolation. Only 2 minutes left. Would make the scoreline a little bit more respectable.
Cannot count Aguilas out until the final minute. This is where they come alive the most, towards the dying minutes of the match.
In towards the back post, but the header goes wide. That might be that for Aguilas. And the Digger. The comeback victory. If you didn't watch this match and just look at the scoreline as the result itself on its own, you might not know that in the 13th minute, Aguilas actually took the lead. And we're in the momentum. They had the momentum, they had the drive, they had the ascendancy. But as they've done whole season, and the Digger just finding a way to secure 3 points against a fellow top 6 rival. Failed to beat Cebu, failed to beat Stallion, but still haven't lost, and that's something only they can say. Kum looking for Yamamoto. Yamamoto looking for Adamu. Excellent headed clearance by Sambu. Here's De Paula. Just over 30 seconds now till full time. De Paula looking for Yamamoto. Yamamoto straight. The goalkeeper gonna run down the seconds.
Feel that Aguilas See it in the last few minutes coming to life, but just a little too late. Chances in succession from Aguilas. Yamamoto able to find himself some space to take a chance on target, but not enough to really challenge NG.
Here's Koom. Baji with the foot in. The applause of the Manila Digger fans in the stadium. And it also to Manila Digger. They always have a strong fan group presence in all of their games, but most especially in that AFC Challenge League home game. We've passed the 4 minutes. Referee is gonna blow full time any moment now as the whistle to his mouth. It was a very good performance. Aguilas in the first opening part of the game, but again, Manila Digger just found a way to mount that comeback successfully in the latter part of the first half, and then the dagger from Nishioka in the second half sealed the deal.
I feel that the best minutes played by Aguilas really in the first 15 minutes. Started out fierce, fizzled out in the end. Manila Digger, once they gained momentum, just never looked back.
Drawing board for Coach Incolina. 4 wins in a row before tonight, but another loss. Hello, rival. They're gonna travel to Cebu any day now for that away match on Sunday. Manila Diggers stay here for their match against Don Bosco on Saturday, which is a match you'd assume also pick up another 3 points in. Looked like offside there for Modumane. Been another goal scoring opportunity. That was the last play. The referee has blown for full time. Aguilas gave a good fight, but Manila Digger really stamping their authority down and continuing their fine form this season. They remain undefeated, and they did it in a fashion that wasn't pretty at times, but they got the job done.
Manila Digger proving to be efficient and clinical. Play very physical, very direct. Actually win once again in this matchup. Remain undefeated. Go on a 4-game winning streak. Great effort from Jibrila and the rest of Aguilas. Got that first goal for them, for Manila Digger. Found the equalizer with Toure at the 36th minute. And then the go-ahead by Paus Mangay. And Nishioka with a final dagger to make it a 3-1 in favor of Manila Digger.
That about wraps up this one between Manila Digger and Aguilas UMAK FC. A game that had a lot of action, a lot of cards. It was goal-packed as well. And Manila Digger, again, I said it earlier on, the question now across the whole league is if anyone can actually stop them. 3-1 is the final scoreline. It has been a pleasure to call this one. It was Diego Cordero alongside Natasha Alquiros Dato for today's 2 matches in the PFL. Stay tuned this Saturday and Sunday because we have 4 more weekend games coming right up.
Congratulations on the results. What are your thoughts on the game?
Thank you. It was not an easy game. Aguilas is a very strong team, and well, it was. Can I start over? Thank you very much. It was not an easy game. Aguilas is a very strong team. They're very physical and they're very demanding. So it was so tough, but we played as a team. We stood our grounds, and then we got the results we deserved.
How do you plan to move forward given the result?
Well, it's a step closer to our chase of the title, and then we're gonna keep chasing. We take our games game for game, game by game, and then hopefully by the end of the season, we'll become champions.
What are your message to your fans?
Well, let them come, let them keep coming, let them keep supporting. We're here for them and they're here for us, so we're together in this. So I hope at the end of the season, we will all be like one big happy family, and then we will have something to remember in the future. Thank you.